my mum and my stepdad had broken up, so it was just primarily my mum and my sister. And my mum was always really supportive. I guess I just didn't like being labelled that and being put in that box, so that was kind of more on me rebelling. And my sister, she loves me for who I am. For me, my mum found gay porn on my laptop. She was being a little bit nosy, the bitch. But, and then I think from then she's like, oh, okay, so my son is gay, like, you know. I just shut her down. I was like, Mum, we're not having this conversation. And you should not have been in my room on my laptop. Like, what were you thinking? And she still tries to bring it up when I'm like, Mum, why? Like, you know I'm gay now. Like, what was the point of bringing it up now? So I had that really great support network at home. And even a lot of the teasing that I got was primarily from my cousins, like my, so not my closer family, but the wider family.
I came out to my cousin when I was 16, to my eldest cousin when I was 16. So yeah, and that was a real emotional trip, and that was me coming out as being gay.
My sons were amazing, absolutely phenomenal actually.
I came out again when I was in 2013, so about 5 years ago. So yeah, it's coming out as being transgender.
As surprising as it was, Dad was as long as you're happy. The rest of them not so good. And I didn't understand, because I thought, I've given you the wedding, I've given you the grandkids, I've played my part.
So usually mothers are quite protective and like, you know, would, you know, love you unconditionally. My mum sort of wasn't like that.
My mother and I didn't talk. Maybe 3 times in a year, because every time she spoke to me, she was just angry, but sad, but emotional, and
it was one of the most toughest things that I had to do, was coming out to Mum, because I knew she didn't sort of like it in the first place.
I went from being okay and having my children's best needs at heart to being a sexual deviant.
With my depression, it's not the stuff with Mum. We're actually really cool now, and she actually accepts me, which is good, and I love that she's accepting me. It's just other aspects in my life that are sort of really getting to me, like stuff with trying to get work and whatnot. You know, being unemployed for a little over a year now. You know, I just get fed up with all the bullshit that society puts on the LGBTIQ community.
It's actually a really crappy place to be bisexual. The label bisexual, you get, you're just greedy, you can't pick a side, you're indecisive, you're just desperate, you'll take anyone who'll have you.
Because some of them don't really realise sometimes that I'm transgender.
It's not great. You're better off saying, all right, well, if you want a label, I will be black and white, but sexuality is not black and white. Gender is not black and white.
And often it's the older, like, male GPs that look at you and think, geez, you're a big unit, you know, like, what kind of girls you got, you know, and it's just like, oh gosh, do I need to like do that and snap my hand, you know, like.
You know, I don't even know what they would assume I am, to be honest. I mean, hell, they could probably think I'm a fucking unicorn.
Being tested for AIDS and HIV, you know, twice in a month, because you go to the doctors twice in a month, just more of an onslaught of that kind of healthcare.
Friends, family, other people that are Aboriginal, we always had to build that thick skin. We've always had that thick skin because we're a minority. And then you put people who are Aboriginal and then start to come out as being part of the LGBTIQ A+ community. On top of that, then you're a minority within a minority. And then you have to build a thicker skin, and you have to learn to try not to let everything get you down.
The first thing would be to acknowledge that, look, you're working with two very diverse groups. First you're working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and then also you're working within LGBTQI communities.
Have that interpersonal relationship. Even if you've just met someone, people can have the ability to get somebody to trust them if they want to.
My first thing would be to get knowledge around those two areas, to also maybe check your privilege, especially when you're engaging with Aboriginal people, and to have a bit more of cultural understanding of how to engage and work with Aboriginal people. So if you haven't done cultural awareness training yet, that'd be the first thing you should do. Then you're probably looking more working with the LGBTQI guys. So knowing about the different, I don't want to call them categories because we're putting them in the boxes, but the different sections or part of that community, you know, so you're trans, gay, lesbian, what else is there? There's bisexuals and there's queer people. And knowing how to engage and interact with those people, you know.
So without judgment, without fear or prejudice. Hey, doing these 3 things. I don't know when you've had one, but I'm asking everyone today that comes through my doors, would you like one? And put it back, give choice.
You know, just try to be really respectful as much as possible. That's all I can really quite say about it.
Be one-to-one, show that you give a shit, and then people will respond. Sincerity gets people a long way.
Well, sometimes I wouldn't mind if they asked me, what community are you from, you know, because I'm quite open, so I'll say, look, I'm from here, you know, just those kind of things. They're showing a general interest in me as a person. I'm not just a number on a paper, you know.
And if it is somebody who you do see, it is your normal GP, well then you'd like to think that they have the rapport to be able to say, you know what, we haven't done one of these. Have we ever done one of these?
Because a lot of clinicians or people you go to, they don't know what close the gap is, and that can be quite frustrating, you know. If you're a clinician or you're working in the health area, you don't know what close the gap is, well then you really need to sort your shit out. So if we looked at the different types of sexes, like oral, anal, or that's penetration, I guess, and you can separate anal and vaginal. Talk more about being safe in those regards and how you can contract STIs and STDs. Because there's still a lot of stigma, especially in the gay community, about HIV. If you know someone that's HIV, sometimes they're scared that if they breathe on you, you might get HIV, you know? There's still those kind of stuff that we're still as a society, not even Australia, but I guess worldwide, that we're still trying to really bring more awareness about, yeah.
Allowing the teens, young adults to be educated, to know what's out there, to understand about the LGBTIQ community.
If schools put more stuff out there for children or young adults that are LGBTIQ inclined, I think we may have a lot less people who have committed suicide.
And then saying, but it's okay to be straight. It's okay to say, well, I'm not sure. And then it's okay to stand up loud and proud with your feather baton and say, yep, I'm leading the Mardi Gras. You don't have to pick one. You don't have to tick a box.